Ain't no love in the heart of the city. Ain't no love in the heart of town. That's my intro today, and welcome back. So, people keep asking if hip hop is dead, but today I brought proof that hip hop is still alive, y'all. Not because of these algorithms, not because of streaming numbers, but because a 13-year-old kid that's my grandbaby can still sit down and talk about hip hop with me. He can talk about Jay-Z, Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, lyrical influences, and he can articulate this at a pace that some outsiders can't. And I am privileged to have him as my guest today. That means hip hop survived, and today we're going to talk about what gets passed down and what gets lost. So I am going to bleep Mr. AJ in. Hello, Mr. AJ. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you. How are
Yes,
you
we're
doing?
here. We are doing this. We are
Yeah,
doing this. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great.
How you feeling about this interview?
Honestly, I feel calm. I feel relaxed. I feel in the vibe. I feel in the fam. Can't wait. Can't wait.
All right, well, this is probably going to be the best lunch date that I've had in weeks. I think I want to start out by just sharing with like our YouTube fam that I'm that grandmother that loves music. And that's all I talk about all the time. And Austin, you've been the third ear for a long time. And I know you have plenty of opinions about this. But I kind of wanted to take you back to like when we visited, just to start it off. Remember 2 summers ago when we visited the African American Museum in DC? We were able to appreciate like the hip hop museum and the part of the museum where the hip hop was displayed. They had the big wall of names that like influenced music over time. I kind of want to get your opinion on like what that felt like when you were in the museum and you were able to witness all of this like black music and black musical influences that were on display in the African American Museum. What were your thoughts?
So I went to the museum, and it was honestly a great experience. There was so much to see. My thoughts, there was just everything all coming into my head. My thoughts. It's just the history was great, and I got to learn so much more about what we did and what we had to fight through, and also what we used to fight through the obstacles that we had to face.
Right. I mean, I have on display right now one of the walls from the African American Museum. And do you notice a familiar face there?
Yes, I do.
Who
I
is
do notice Tyler, the creator, right here.
it? Yeah.
I also I can see a lot of familiar faces, but I'm kind of having a brain fart here.
Do you see Jay-Z? You see Hove right there on the wall?
Oh yeah, I do see him.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, that kind of signals us right into our next segment because a lot has been going on in hip hop over the last couple of weeks. Although Jay Z, also known as Hove, has been a pillar in the community. You know, he's one of the few billionaires that came out of rap and the hip hop space. So we really honor him just by the notion of his perseverance. Um, you know, we've been kind of talking about Hove over the last few weeks, and it's funny that we found him on the wall over at the Hip Hop Museum, and so that deserves some reverence, don't you think? What are your thoughts about Hove right now?
Honestly, my thoughts is that he he'll fight back. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back." He did, and he is just honestly a super influential. He has this a giant impact over the hip hop community, and it's crazy to see what he can do, what he's earned from the hip hop community, and it's honestly great to see that exchange between him and the hip hop community, saying they gave him what he wanted. They gave him his fame. They gave him, and he is just such an influential figure.
I agree with you, Ozzy, because if you track back, and I want to give you grace because like you were only born 13 years ago, and hip hop is 50 years old, so I'm not expecting you like to be able to regurgitate all of the main points and the main events that have gone down in hip hop over the years. But I do expect you, as one of my offsprings, to at least honor the major things because you got a lifetime to figure out the intricacies of it all. But realizing that, recently Jay Z popped out and did this freestyle that kind of rocked the culture. We talked about that a little bit. Have you given that any more thought?
So yeah, I have given it some thought, and really, he's just rocking the boat here. But he came back. He wanted to make sure they knew who he was. He bit back. He had honestly some of one of the greatest bars I have seen. It was honestly such a great freestyle. I like the fro look. I like the fro. It was a nice little fro. He popped out with the fro, and even a lot of people thought he wouldn't come back because they was talking about, oh, he washed up, he ain't gonna come back, but he came back 100%, and he bit back.
I agree, Aussie. There's this creator called Charles Brown. He's on YouTube, but he's also on X. So I'm gonna play. This is hilarious, and see how much of the Jay Z freestyle that you may have absorbed.
King of the North. You know what comes after this, right? Are you ready? I have 99 problems, but a strumpet isn't one, my lord. That selfish, good-for-nothing traitor! If it wasn't for me, he would still be a peasant! That son of a...
So that part represented the first part of his freestyle when he was talking about people talking down on his name and their teeth are tumbling out of his mouth. That represents Dame Dash.
Sir Tory of the Lanes, would you like some bread?
Tory Lane's getting some.
No, my lord. Did you hear Lord Hover diss you? What diss? I know.
Kanye getting a little bit.
No. Don't worry. We'll take care of Big Brother soon.
Queen, I'm afraid Lord Hover has sent a shot.
I was wondering what took him so long. Awaken the Barbs. I said now! You can go now, kid.
Nikki getting a little bit. Drake.
Just wait till the village dirt roads hear about Charlemagne the Lord and his lying, gaslighting ways. Send the chat pigeons!
Okay, Ozzy. So, Austin, we're going to forge on because we're about to change the subject. This is something I know you're passionate about. So I'm about to give you the floor. We're about to talk about the big three. The big three, I know people are sick of the big three. That's all everybody ever talks about. Big three this, big three that. But we about to give the big three some light here. So first off, did you pick a side? Because I already know you've been engrossed in this battle. So did you pick a side?
Yes, I did pick a side, and I decided that I'm going with you, Kendrick. He's my favorite.
We got a side picked. We got a side picked. We have not lost the younger generation. We have not. We have not. All right. So you picked a side, but let's just walk back. We about to walk this back, Austin, because you have to have a reason why you picked a side. Because now I'm not taking away from any of the big three. I'm not taking away from any of their talent, their ability to make records. I mean, their likability. But when we talk about survival of hip hop, we have to be able to discern who could be the person who could carry hip hop to the next level, hold hip hop on their back, and not compromise hip hop for some other lesser good. So when we say, first off, put some ones in the chat for Austin because he picked the right side, y'all. He picked the right side. You know that he kin to me because he picked the right side. Now I got some people in my family who haven't, but I will attempt to convert them. But Austin picked the right side. All right. But there was a time when you didn't. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to say one good thing first. Just stick to this. Say one good thing about each one of these people that we're calling the big three. Now, somebody else may have somebody else, other people in their big three, but we're talking about Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. So let's start. We'll go with Kendrick last. So let's start with J. Cole. One good thing, only one.
About J. Cole, I think he's really a lyrical artist. He really just has the way of getting to people with not just his style and not just how he can rhyme things, but his lyrics and how he can connect it from just him to other people, even if they are extremely different.
Okay, I like that. He is a rappity rap kind of person. Like if you had a book of rhymes and just looked up cat and hat and bat, you will find J. Cole's name under there because he's a rappity rap kind of person. Doesn't really pick a real subject. Every now and then he has a theme, but most of the time he just likes to rap about rapping, and he's good at it. And he translates to a lot of people. They like him. So moving on, Drake. One good thing. One.
I know this will be a hard question for you, so I expect that you hand it to me. But I think a good thing Drake has going for him is how he can, even if people don't like what he's saying, he has a sort of longevity with his songs. Because I will still hear a lot of Drake's like good and legendary songs today used in different things and still be very prominent over some of his newer releases. And I know that's something that some artists struggle with.
So did you get to the one good thing about Kendrick?
Okay. So it's still bad. I might have to figure it out. But one good thing about Kendrick is he's very efficient at making legendary songs. He's very efficient at making songs that will stick with a generation and also make songs that are kind of a cultural anthem.
Yes. So would you say that Kendrick is blackety black?
I would say.
So when we talk about carrying the culture and moving the culture forward, when some of the legends maybe die off or aren't here, would you? So which one of these big threes would you say would be the best person who could carry this torch, reminding us of where we came from, what the genre has done for us as a people, and continuing to protect this genre and not selling it off for just anything? Which one of these would be the best one for this job?
Now, I would say Kendrick because he is very good at using the style of hip hop that we us you know he's very good at using that, but he can also use different styles, which and this differs with J. Cole and Drake because sometimes they'll be doing different things and sometimes people don't like them when they're trying to use the original style of hip hop or trying to, piggyback off of what other people said. And I feel like Kendrick just has a stronger scent of rap than Drake and J. Cole do.
I agree with you. I think you make a good point because Kendrick does, he can do more things with his voice. It's almost like he uses his voice as an instrument. And he's not always like one note. He can switch it up in a way that keeps it interesting. He can also, have you noticed that he can also teach on a track and make it feel good? It still feels like a good rap song, commercially viable, but you're learning something. Would you say
Yeah,
that's a fair assessment?
yeah.
Now, do you have any friends at school? Do y'all ever talk about rap or no? Do your friends like rap, do you think?
Some of my friends do be liking rap, but most of the time, it's not really about the big three or old rap.
Hmm.
It's just like the stuff that's extremely popular now. Like, oh, this is popular now, even if it's not something that relates to the conversation we're having now.
Like what, for example?
So, like, the people at my school will be like, okay, so this and this, and they'll be talking about maybe like Shabuzi and like his really viral a bar song, but not about like the big three conversation that we're having right now.
Right. So I found that interesting because if you notice, if you're talking about Shabuzi, you're still talking about rap because rap, it has influenced every genre of music that there is. And although Shabuzi is a country artist, he's a rapper. So this could be an opportunity, Austin, for you not just to carry on like the tradition of loving music and preserving hip hop for our family and people under us, even your friends, like introducing them to hip hop and like what it's done for us as far as telling our stories and explaining the Black experience for 50 years. I think that'd be a good opening line. Like I'm talking about Shabuzi. Do you know Shabuzi raps too? He's just in country. Rap has influenced country music. I think that's a good lead in, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, did any of your friends talk about this rap beef?
So are we talking about the ice cream beef or
I'm talking about Rap Beef 2024 between Kendrick Drake and what started out between Kendrick Drake and J. Cole and ended up just between Kendrick and Drake. Did any of your friends have any opinions about that? Did y'all talk about it?
everybody was on that when it dropped? And
Oh,
it was honestly everybody was like it was kind of most everybody was just following the herd. But those few people that had unique opinions, they actually have pretty good opinions. Like Drake, Jay, he actually is responding good to this, even if Kendrick is giving him like great blows, and he's actually drawing more attention than what people would think he would. And people were like, "Oh, Kendrick, he ain't doing nothing." And some people would say Kendrick should have, responded last, even though that last song Drake dropped was kind of sorry. People were saying Kendrick should have responded last instead of Drake getting the last song.
So, which last song are you talking about? Are you talking about like that heart part six that?
Yeah, one of those.
So you're saying that your friends were thinking that that last thing that he dropped was kind of just sorry, and at probably by that time everybody had declared that Kendrick was the clear winner, I would think.
Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming based on the school that I know you go to that most of your friends were probably Drake fans to begin with. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
So, how did they feel about the fact that the culture declared Kendrick the winner over this?
So they were kind of they were kind of upset, but they also figured out and accepted, that like Kendrick just has a better cultural response because he's a better cultural artist. And like Drake, he doesn't just appeal to the hip hop audience, he can appeal to many different audiences, which is shown in his new album, I think, Maid of Honor. It was, kind of a ballroom album. So he just has a better idea of appealing to many different cultures and genres. So they were kind of just accepting that Kendrick can just appeal to hip hop better than Drake does.
So let me ask you this, because I think I heard you say that they assume or there's a consensus that maybe Drake can appeal to different kinds of audiences. But I think that Kendrick has proven that to be untrue, and maybe that's just an old wives' tale because he has like billions of listening listeners on the Spotify and Apple. And in fact, he's probably surpassed Drake in that respect. But would you say like Drake is more pop than hip hop? If you're saying he's crossing over more to other genres?
Yeah, I'd say that Drake is more of a pop artist. He doesn't really have the hip hop style that we really roll with because his songs are more just, in the pop genre than hip hop.
I think I agree with you, Austin, because I don't think that Drake is a bad rapper at all, but I do agree with you that he's probably more pop than hip hop. But I think it's a good perspective, though, that like you being 13 years old, your mother went to a historically black college. She was engrossed in the culture, and is your dad. And how that influence has bled onto you in a positive way. And I do you think that it's necessary though to carry on the culture and the history and remember like how it evolved, or do you think it's just like overkill that people care so much about hip hop?
I think that it is 100% necessary to carry on the culture of things that were popular and also relate to the roots of our community and other people's cultures because this is what history's for. If nobody knows what happened in the past, how do we know we're not going to repeat it? Or how do we know we're not going to do something worse?
Exactly. Austin, you weren't around during this era of Vanilla Ice, and you may have never heard of him. He made this song called Ice Ice Baby, and I'm guilty of loving that song when it first landed. It was Ice Ice Baby. Doom, 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 doom. Anyway, at that point, I think some of the gatekeepers of hip hop felt that it was necessary to preserve hip hop because genres like rock and country music, it felt that it may have been stolen from us in a way when we weren't looking. and we weren't paying attention. And some purist hip hop fans think that Drake, maybe even though he's biracial, maybe one of these people who may sell out the culture because he doesn't care enough about it to protect the history and the innocence of it. I was just wondering if you feel like it's important for us to make sure people from your generation, under you and slightly above you, understand the importance of what hip hop has done, or if it's just okay that hip hop gets bled and merged in with all other music and not remain separated because of its core. I don't know if that was a too long of a question, but if you have another question to follow up, if you don't understand the question, let me know.
So I believe you're asking me, should we pass on to the generation that it is important that we preserve this genre?
Yes.
Okay. I believe that this is important because sometimes things really do need to stay and they need to show what we can do as a collective, as our culture, and what this is like connected in our community.
Did you let's get back to the rap beef, which I love to talk about. Do you think that rap beef made people your age care about hip hop more, or did you care about hip hop already? Did it bring you in more?
It 100% brought me in more because I remember listening to the first song that Kendrick dropped. Well, it wasn't he dropped. He had a feature on it. The first shot. It
That's the
was, I
like
believe,
that was like
all your dogs getting buried in
uh-huh.
reference to the album Drake dropped, which was, what was it? All the dogs?
Yeah, the drop that, or first person shooter.
I think it's first person shooter.
Okay.
But he did just like the response in the lyrical, uh, his just the way he could word it and the way he could just like just bit by bit bring him down
His
into this,
delivery.
yeah, just this delivery. It I was just amazed and I was like, this is great. Because before I wasn't really listening to hip hop like that, but now it's like something that I'll actually take my time to look into and see what's happening.
I love that for you, Austin. Do you find yourself breaking down the lyrics too?
So usually I sometimes I'll just get it immediately, but if I don't get it, I'll be like, "What's this?" And then I'll look into it and I'll be like, "This is very interesting." I actually, and it amazes me how these rappers and cultural icons can, just work their way into platinum albums and things like that.
Now tell me, how is it living in your house knowing that your father is a Drake fan and now you are a Kendrick fan?
Honestly, hey, it's when we meet in the hallway, it's kind of a stare. We're like, "Do you know what you're talking about?" And he thinks that he know what he's talking about because everybody else just following the herd. He thinks he trying to be different and say, "Oh, drink like this, drink like that." But I feel like honestly, everybody can have their own opinion. But if they wrong, they wrong.
And we're not even implying that Drake is not a good record maker. There's been good record makers throughout history. You don't necessarily have to write your own rhymes to be a good record maker. You can just have a good ear for a good beat and you know how to lay it down. And you have to be able to appeal to people. And Drake has an it factor that appeals to a lot of people. I I think though, that for preserving the genre, we would need someone more like Kendrick Lamar or Jay-Z who could carry on that. This week, speaking about the big three, Shout out to Hip Hop All Day. Let's see. So the only three rappers who have studio albums to spend 600 plus weeks on Billboard 200 charts are the big three, which is probably why we keep considering them, these three artists, the big three. They've been viable in the marketplace for a long time, but Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar has spent like 710 weeks on the Billboard Hot 200 chart. Take Care is second with 600, and this week Forest Hill Drive by J. Cole entered that number with over 600 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. So that's significant. You can kind of see why they're considered the big three, because they can sell records, they can sell tickets to shows. I mean, we don't know about Drake lately because he had to cancel a lot, but that's why they're considered the big three. But when it comes to hip hop and culture, we have to remember and remind ourselves and our peers that it's worth preserving. And so when you choose an artist to preserve the culture, then you have to choose the one who could carry it with honor. And then you got to support that artist, right? Because when I was in high school, they never taught us about Black history. And a lot of what we knew about different cities, different people's culture and cycles in different parts of the world, we got from music. Like we learned about how New Yorkers dressed and talked through the music. And I think, especially lots of genres, but especially hip hop, we learn so much through the music if you actually listen and break down the lyrics. Can you tell me one of your favorite lyrics of all time? Like, just if somebody goes, Austin, do you like hip hop? What's the first like bar that comes to your brain?
The first bar that comes to my brain. So something, this might be recency bias, but on the Jay Z freestyle, he said something about when Drake said the jig is up, he
Uh huh.
responded to that with, you say the jig is up, now you looking up, and then he goes to repeat the word with the jig because they used to call Drake Jigaboo, but then he shows how he up now, and he is up on the chart.
Not Austin breaking down lyrics. Not you breaking down lyrics. I hear you. I like it. I love it actually. Drake makes music for clubs, not the culture. I agree. I agree because he thinks that's what people like. And he's definitely a people pleaser. He's got to grow up. We are coming into the home stretch. I only keep people about 45 minutes so that they can get their bathroom break and get back to work. I have so enjoyed you, Austin. Tell me the best part about your grandmother being peculiar in that she loves music so much. What is the best part about having me, the around the way girl, ageless hip hop fan, rap, hip hop, and R&B sophisticate as your grandmother? Go
The
ahead.
best the best part about having the Dr. PMP as my grandma
That's
is
me.
that she will always keep us entertained. She'll always make sure we know what we talking about. And if we talking something whack, she'll always tell us that we talking something whack.
Come on now. Come on. That's me. That's me. Now I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people call me old Austin online when I'm on X. They say I need to get out of hip hop. They say I'm not a real doctor. What you say to all them people?
So first, she ain't old. Second of all, she is a real doctor and she know what she talking about. And most of the time the people that be on X be they don't know what they talking about and they be saying this and this and that, but they just read a comment off of some one video and think they know what they're talking about. Like Drake's Iceman is the best album of all time. So yeah, when Dr. BMP is saying that Kendrick is better than Drake, she doesn't know what she's talking about because Iceman's the best album of all time.
We talking about legacy. So, did you enjoy Iceman? Let's give Drake a little 2 minutes before we go. Did you enjoy Iceman?
So, the Iceman album, I looked into it. There's a lot of stuff, but there's also a lot of things that he did wrong. There's
Okay.
a lyric I still remember. It was like Iceman and Iceman, and then some random. He didn't even say none. Iceman and Iceman, and then he just mumbled. Cause he thinking that he can just do what he want and people will like it.
Now you do realize that's the story of his life. There was a time when he was an okay rapper, which is what got him in the door. But then the rumor has it that he became so arrogant that he really didn't care about the music and he figured he could give the fans whatever and they would accept it. And that worked for him for a long time. But I think Kendrick's last third verse on Not Like Us really opened a lot of hip hop fans' eyes to who he really was. I think many of us understood him as an artist anyway, but it allowed us to be okay with expressing what we saw because we suddenly saw that we weren't alone in seeing those things. And yes, he did get a little passive. I think now he may be struggling trying to find himself. So we're going to pray for him.
Okay.
Don't forget to smash that like button. Everybody that's in here, don't forget to hit the like button. I need it. I need it for the algorithm. And I'm going to say some families pass down recipes. Some families pass down religion. In our family, we pass down music and hip hop nuggets. You know, in music and hip hop, one of the things I love about hip hop is it tends to hold our secrets, it tells our stories, and it definitely keeps us all accountable. And if we love the genre and we want to protect it, we have to call out the people we love and hold them accountable too. I enjoyed having a co host today. And I know today wasn't just about Jay-Z, Kendrick, Drake, or the big three. It was proof, y'all, that hip hop is alive and well. It's worth fighting for. It's worth preserving. It's powerful enough to connect generations. When a grandmother and her grandson can sit down, debate music, culture, laugh, disagree, and find common ground through hip hop, you know that hip hop will survive. And I so appreciate you for coming through. And thanks for stopping back by the house.